Morning and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Ravi Shankar and I am the Sergeant at Arms for Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers. I'll start the meeting by stating the mission of our club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Let us exhibit our commitment to the values of Toastmasters International by taking the Toastmasters promise. I'd request all our Toastmasters in the virtual room to raise your right hand and hold it up or keep it on your heart as you please, and hold it there until we finish reading the promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain a positive, friendly environment that is necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits that membership with Toastmasters offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, and to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. You may now say, I do.
I do.
Thank you. And now let me quickly explain a few basic rules of our club's meeting. General housekeeping. I would request everyone to keep your videos on throughout the meeting if possible, unless you need to step away at that point so that you don't distract the speaker. You might want to switch your video off. At all times when you're not speaking, please keep your audio muted. Please check your audio and video before you begin speaking so that we can make sure that we're able to hear you clearly. And if you face any technical glitch, please feel free to log off and log back in. Please clap whenever control is transferred from one person who is on the virtual stage to another. And please refrain from speaking in a derogatory manner on any topic that might hurt the sentiments of other people. And finally, something that I forgot to mention in the beginning is put all your noise-making devices on mute or switch them off. With that, I will now call on our presiding officer, the club's president, Mary. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you. Take two. We'll do much better because since I started the meeting initially, we have another person. Kirk, are you a new guest? Could you unmute for a second? I don't know that I've had the pleasure to meet you before.
Hello, yes, my name is Kirk Blaine. I am from Roseburg, and I joined last week for folks that might not have been here. And thank you all for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for introducing yourself to me because I was on a cruise. So yay, congratulations. Welcome to Roseburg's Speakers and Storytellers. You're in a great group. And we mentioned we have some wonderful guests that are like members. We have Melfa back. She's been visiting us. I know she's been doing a lot. Arnie, you're like becoming a member. We love having you here. And I think our normals, and Stephen, yeah, Stephen is back. We haven't seen him for a while. So it's great to have you all here. And with that, I'm going to switch hats and introduce myself as the Toastmaster today. As the Toastmaster of the day, I lead the meeting. I set the tone. I introduce the different roles throughout the meeting or introduce the people when it's their opportunity to do a role. So as the Toastmaster of the day, I started going through the agenda just to make sure we had all the roles covered, which we are. So let me quickly finish the rest of them. We have one speaker today, Sarah, that we'll be hearing from her shortly, and her evaluator is Michelle. we have a table topics master, Titin. And Titin, could you just quickly, just for the benefit of our group, tell us what table topics is all about?
So table topics, it is a perfect opportunity for us to practice our impromptu speaking. You will be given a statement or a question and you will need to answer it in 1 until 2 minutes with 30 seconds of grace period. I think that's the introduction for table topics.
Wonderful. Thank you, Titin. And then we have a general evaluator that'll introduce the evaluation portion of our meeting and give an overall evaluation of the meeting at the end. And that is Tiger. Tiger, I just said what your duty is. I should have allowed you to say it. Sorry. And the last, we have an evaluator as part of the evaluation team. And then our last member of the evaluation team is our timer. And our timer today is Arnie. Arnie, could you tell us what you'll be doing as timer and show us your timing, what you'll be using for your timing today?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. As a timer, I will time every speaker in this meeting for prepared speech session. Toastmaster Sarah has 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes green, 6 minutes yellow, and 7 minutes red. For table topic participant, each participant will have 1 to 2 minutes, as mentioned by Toastmaster Titin. 1 minute green, 1.5 minutes yellow, and 2 minutes red. For the evaluation session, the evaluator will have 2 to 3 minutes, 2 minutes green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and 3 minutes red. With every speaker has 30 seconds grace period. Pay attention to my screen. I will use the raise hand emoji so you can easily find me on top left of your screen. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Great, Arnie. And that's a wonderful tip for all our Toastmasters. By putting your hand up, it makes your block be the top left hand. So if you're ever in a meeting and you need to be the timer or someone that needs to stay in view all the time, by putting your hand up, it puts you in that position. So thank you, Arnie, for doing that and for explaining the timing role. It's gratuitous behavior that we have in this meeting that allows me to use that word of the day. I'm going to try and use it again. We try to use the word of the day to improve our vocabulary. So throughout the meeting, we try to incorporate the word of the day, gratuitous, in our speaking opportunities. Sometimes we might wave our hand or knock on a door to let people know that, yes, we use the word of the day. Just a little note for anyone that was not aware about the word of the day, the use of it, and how we recognize it. Now on to the meeting. We have a wonderful speaker. I'm very excited to hear the speaker today. It's Sarah. Sarah is working in the Dynamic Leadership Pathways. That's the educational program for Toastmasters. And she is at a level 3. Her project is connecting with storytelling, which always adds to the value of a speech by putting a personal story or a story of some kind. The title of her speech is The Blind Cow. Please help me welcome our speaker for today, Sarah, with The Blind Cow. The floor is yours.
Eating in the dark is a concept in which a group of restaurants offer a unique experience. And it is about having dinner in an obscure atmosphere. And you are also served by blind waiters. I came across this concept in an interesting way. It was during my German lessons. And it was because every lesson of my German book was not only teaching you something about grammar, but also something about the most important cities in the German-speaking area. There was one that for me was the most interesting. It was so interesting that it kept in the back of my head during all this time. This was a lesson about Zurich, Switzerland. And in there was a small flyer. It was something like, "Come to our restaurant, the Blind Cow," which translated in German is Die blinde Kuh. Come for a unique experience. Come book a table right now. You will be served by blind waiters and you will have an experience of how it is to be blind for one day. At that time, when I was learning German, it was just part of a lesson. I did it and everything was fine. But then, just some weeks ago, I was sent for a business trip to South Germany, exactly in the border with Switzerland. Being there and trying to plan something for the weekend, I just remembered that part of the lesson about Zurich with this interesting and unique restaurant where you are served by blind waiters. I was just wondering, does this place really exist? Can I really go and have dinner in such a place? So I did my small research in Google and found out, yeah, it exists. So without any hesitation, I sent an email and asked for a table. I received the confirmation and then my weekend was already planned. I had to drive some kilometers to Zurich. When I just arrived, I was really curious about what's gonna be this experience. The restaurant was kind of a fairy tale small house with a very lit small living room in the entrance. So I went in and there was a man giving you some information, but not that much. Curiosity had to stay with you. I just left there my jacket and he asked me, "You need to be familiar with the menu because there, inside, where you're having dinner, you won't be able to see anything." So I took the menu, which was not very wide, and I decided to just take the surprise menu, a a 4-course menu with several things, and just go inside. But before going, he asked me to log in my cell phone, my watch, and everything what could produce light in a security box. We are not allowing you to go with these light things inside the restaurant. So it was interesting for me because I wanted to capture every moment in my cell phone, but I did it. Then a waitress picked me up to take me through a kind of a small tunnel where at the beginning it was lit, but at the end it was dark. She was really nice. Her name was Janine. She took me by the hand. He put me the hands in her shoulders and guided me to my table. At this moment, it was so dark that I couldn't see my hands. Nothing. She guided me there, showed me my chair and put me on the table. She also guided me during the whole dinner. Where is my glass? Where is my plate? My cutlery? Everything. At this moment, I felt for the first time of my life that I had some weakness. For the first time of my life, I was also guided by a blind person. And for the first time of my life, I feel like something was missing, my seat. When I finished my dinner, I had to call her again. Now it's time to go out. She guided me with empathy and patience again through that tunnel, this time from the dark to the light place. When we arrived to the light place, I was so happy that I could see again. And I thank her for being so nice, but I also wanted to express my admiration and my respect for her to be able to do all those things every day, like being blind in this normal way. I have to say it was a transformative experience because for me, now that I think about it, it's like you are disabled, but only in some situations. I think I will never see disabilities in the same way again. It was a big lesson for me. And if you have the opportunity to go through this concept in a restaurant eating in the dark, I will highly encourage you to take this opportunity. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Wow, excellent speech. And wow, what a gratuitous opportunity that you had. And a life lesson to really appreciate someone blind and how they go through their daily things without the gift of sight. That really, what an experience. Thank you for sharing that today. Next, that concludes our formal speeches today. Now we'll turn to our impromptu, and our table topics master for today is our wonderful member, Titin. Titin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mary. Good morning, afternoon, evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. I'm Titin, and I'm happy to serve as your table topic master for this meeting. We are about to start the most awaited session for the guests and, of course, for Toastmaster members too. So why table topic is fun? Because we can learn impromptu speaking, and it helps us to organize our thoughts quickly, expressing our thoughts in impromptu setting. You will be given one statement or question, and you will answer it in 1 until 2.5 minutes without any prior preparation. The timing is minimum 1 minute, and then maximum is 2.5 minutes. When the timer has shown red, you still have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech. And for today's meeting, I only have one question as suggested by Malva before the meeting started. And I would invite the next participant to start his or her table topic session with the last word mentioned by the previous speaker, which I will mention as well. What was the last word that was spoken by the previous speaker? And word for today is gratuitous. So is everybody ready for this impromptu session? Please show me your thumb if you are ready. Thank you. And now I would like to invite our first participant for the session. Malva, this is the question that you suggested.
Okay, I'm hearing you. What's the question is?
Okay, I think you know the question already. What is the thing that you haven't achieved yet? What is the thing that you haven't achieved yet?
Okay, thank you, Titin, for the question. Oh my God. As getting old, I realized that many things that I have not achieved. Actually, I'm not a person that like to compare my life to others, but in my environment, especially my mom always compare me to my friends, like when you getting married, when you buy house, when you buy car, it's like, what's wrong with that? I'm like, I want to enjoy my life. It's like I cannot have my life like what I want, in Asia, many questions that like people like to compare to others. And I realized, yeah, many things that I have not achieved. I just like enjoy my life every day, like working and then eating, yeah, learning and such like that. I hope one thing that like I make a list every year, have to set a goals. One thing that I have to achieve is in this year. First, yes, I want to back in RS again, and then want to have some peace in mind and my heart, because lately, I think from my voice, I feel nervous and uneasy because I'm getting panic. I don't know why. It fills me every time. I just want to have some peace. I think that's it, Titin. Back to you.
Thank you, Melva. Yes, I think I can feel you being compared to others, especially in Asian families. And welcome back to RSS. We are happy to have you back, and we wish you to have the peace that you are longing for. The last word that was mentioned by Melva was you. So I invite the next table topic participant to start the sentence with the word you. The word of the day is gratuitous. Any volunteer for the next participant? How about Rafi? Would you like to try? Please start your sentence with the word you. That was the last word that was mentioned by Melva. Screen is yours.
I think that I would have it easy trying to use the word of the day today, but I've been scratching my hair. Well, I'm scratching whatever's left of it. And despite all of the scratching that I did, I couldn't figure out how to use the word of the day. Now, did I get it right, Titan, that I should continue talking about the same table topic that you've given to Melva, or what do I do? I'm sorry, I lost track of that.
Any theme, any topic that you would like to discuss.
Oh, okay. Anything under the sun. All right. Well, topic that I'd like to talk about is I'm looking forward to the weekend. That's what I think I'd want to talk about. And the reason is I get to go on a short trip due east from here to visit a town where there's going to be a celebration of another Toastmasters club, which is at a school. Or when I say school, it's actually it's a college, and they're celebrating their 150th meeting, and they've asked some of us to go visit them and share in the fun activities that they've planned for it. So I'm really looking forward to that. The only thing being that the best way to get there is by train, and most of the train tickets are already sold out. So again, I'm back to scratching my head, figuring out how is it that we'll go there. A road trip is also something that we had in our mind, but looks like some of the folks are not too comfortable with my driving. Not that they've ever been in a car with me ever, but that's the way it is. Anyway, nevertheless, I'm looking forward to that happening over the weekend, and I think, let me see how I can sneak in the word of the day, gratuitous. Isn't that the one? Okay, at least I got the pronunciation right. With that, back to you, Titan.
Thank you, Ravi. Yes, I'm looking forward to the weekend too, at the very beginning of the week today, Monday. And next, I would like to invite Michelle. The topic is any topic that you would like to mention. However, if you would like to start your sentence with the last word that was being said by the previous speaker, Ravi, his last word was my name. Anyway, it's up to you. No need to use that word.
Thank you so much for picking me and for coming up with this very creative table topic session. It is a challenge for people like me who just woke up and are still trying to be awake. I do remember that the word of the day is gratuitous. That is the first thing I'll take care of. And I'm wondering if Lauren chose gratuitous because of the recent events here in the USA. That word has become very, I don't know if it's popular or notorious, but people have been using the word the last 3 days to accuse somebody of speaking gratuitously and not having any right to say that, but the word has to listen to all the mainstream media and all the media. You will hear that word so often that I think it's, somebody would take a hold of it. It is probably the most used word of the day in the last 3 or 4 days. Having said that, Ravi mentioned at the start that we should not say anything that might be offensive to anyone. So all I will say is I'll use that word of the day, gratuitous, say that it's been very commonly heard and used the last few days. But I will not give the background. You feel free to Google it and see why is it such a either popular or notorious word the last 3 or 4 days here in the US. Personally, every time I see the word gratuitous, I find it a little bit odd because it's supposed to be unnecessary or not deserved or not required. But why the heck do they have it printed out already on the receipt? And they start with 15%, not even 10 anymore. They have 10%, 15% gratuity, 18%, 20%. And I was in a restaurant one time, they even had 25%. Are you guys serious? 25% gratuity? That is so gratuitous to use the word correctly. Nonetheless, I think I have maxed out the number of times that I could use the word of the day. So back to you, Titi.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you for the homework for us to Google the thing that you mentioned. I believe the last word that was mentioned by Michelle before she handed it back to me was the word they. So I would like to invite the next participant to start the sentence with the word they. Toastmaster Arnie, our timer, would you like to try? And do you want me to time you?
No, I can time myself. Thank you, Toastmaster Kristen. Day by day, lately I feel so gloomy because I have a circumstance here that a bit hard for me to handle it. But I believe that every cloud has a silver lining and there is always a rainbow after the rain. I try to keep thinking in a positive way that I hope I use the word of the day correctly if I say that I believe this hard time is not a gratuitous time. So I keep myself trying to be in the positive side and being able to attend this meeting today is one of it. So I can get all the positive energy from all of you and listen to the story and especially from the experience that Sarah shared in her speech. it gave me a different point of view and being grateful for whatever I have, and no matter how hard the time it is now that I have, I believe what they have there in the blind cow is harder than mine. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing it. So, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, no matter how hard the problem you have, keep the positive, keep keep yourself to think in a positive way and keep your spirit high. And don't forget to attend the Roseburg Toastmaster every Monday at 10 p.m. at my site. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Army, for reminding us to be grateful. And the last word that was mentioned by Toastmaster Army was the word side, S-I-D-E, side. I would like to invite our guest, Kirk. Would you like to be the participant?
Sure. Thank you, Titan. Side of the river. It's on the side of the North Umpqua. You stand in deep water as you swing a fly for a steelhead in the steelhead green water of Oregon. This is what I tend to do on my weekends that I have off. I tend to go up to the river and look for one of these big fish that travel out to the ocean to rear and grow to big lengths and come back and spawn and rear its juveniles in these home waters that it starts from. The North Umpqua River is near my home here in Roseburg, for those that aren't close by. And I tend to spend many days of the year up there fishing for these fish, as well as hiking the beautiful trails that the land has to offer. I tend to spend multiple hours fishing for these fish. I jump from one spot to the next. They're very difficult to catch as they tend to consume a majority of their diet out at sea and come back only to spawn and have babies, or juveniles as we call them. And then those juveniles grow to a smolt stage, which is a medium size, and then travel to the ocean to grow bigger as well. And so that's how I spend my time. Some might find it gratuitous, but for me, I really enjoy spending my days up there in more of a meditative state to enjoy my time off. Back to you, Teton.
Thank you, Kirk, for sharing. I was so carried by your story that I forgot the last word that you mentioned. Okay, it was a wonderful sharing. And I would like to call Tiger. Would you like to be the next participant?
What was the last word that Kirk said?
Off. Rafi mentioned it was the word off.
Off the cuff. That's what we're doing here, Table Topics. I need to make a gratuitous comment about our SAA. Honestly, his professional SAA job, it's all about getting to talk more. So we can see that bald head of his even more. This is a fun Table Topics. I love unique Table Topics. The reason that we're having this Table Topics is because we had no theme, because we had no Toastmaster until the last second. So Cheethan just decided, well, I'm just going to do this because I have no idea what the theme is. So let's just have some fun. Melva, it took me 6 months to talk her into coming back. And I promised her that we would give her her question ahead of time, so at least she had a heads up. Kirk, I went to the river on Saturday. I have never seen that many people at the park. The boats were stacked up, so I'm assuming the fishing must be good. Lauren comes up with a word of the day that negative. This is a negative word. Gratuitous. It was a gratuitous word to use. Sarah, wow. There are some times when I've gone to a restaurant where I wish I was blind. Like, for instance, going to a sushi restaurant with raw fish. Michelle, what can we say about Michelle? She got so excited today, she went overtime. Michelle is the timer of the year. Michelle times everything. So it was fun to see her go overtime. I shouldn't say this, but I love when Michelle makes mistakes. It makes me feel better about myself. This is fun.
Thank you, Tiger, for appreciating everyone here. And I think we still have time. The last word that was mentioned by Tiger was fun. I would like to invite Lauren. Would you like to continue?
Fun times are ahead today and going into the weekend. In the US, it's a 3-day weekend because next Monday is President's Day. So there's probably a lot of 3-day trips being planned. Today is just a regular Monday and there's not much going on right now except for Toastmasters for me and traveling back to Oregon. I'm in Las Vegas now, which I did not plan to travel to Las Vegas during the Super Bowl. That was a unfortunate timing. Today is going to be a gratuitously long travel time, and it will test my patience, I'm sure. I came to Las Vegas to visit my parents and to pick up my wedding dress. That was my main plan. I don't enjoy football, so I didn't even think about the Super Bowl, which is why the timing just happened to coincide. That's my day today. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Lauren. Last word that was mentioned by Lauren was today. So I would like to invite Sarah. Would you like to continue?
Today was actually not a very busy day, not at work and not at the streets in some cities in Germany. And the reason is that this weekend there was Carnival. Some cities like Cologne, they host a very big party on Sunday where the people just dress up and go to the streets, and it's very busy and very loud, and people drink a lot because here is allowed to drink at the streets, so that they take Mondays off and they don't go work. And probably you know more about the carnivals from other cities like Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, or some other regions in the world, Venice in Italy. So it is an interesting experience that I have never had the opportunity to have, unfortunately, but I can tell you how peaceful it is today to be at streets because people are just tired of doing party yesterday. Back to you, Titin.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your joyful day today. And the last word that was mentioned by Sarah was yesterday. Let me squeeze in. Mary, would you like to continue? And I believe that we only have 3 more minutes left.
Yesterday was a fun day for me. I got to host a Super Bowl party. My friends, Barbara and Marisol, came over and we had all my favorite Super Bowl foods. We had barbecued wings, we had mozzarella sticks, we had salsa and chips, we had pan queso and chips, we had chips and dip. Then we had mimosas. We thought that would be a fun thing to toast with. So we drank mimosas. And then for dessert, we had brownies, and they're called no-bake chocolate cookies. So it was a fun day. For me, the main thing about the Super Bowl is the commercials. So we anxiously started the evening way before the game so we could watch all the fun commercials. And I have to put a shout out to Lauren. Did you see that commercial? Maybe you didn't because you said you don't follow football. They had a pickleball commercial with these little kids playing pickleball. And Lauren now, I associate pickleball with Lauren. So that was cute. So it was yesterday was a fun day for me. And I found something today that's exciting. Lauren is in Las Vegas. I am flying to Las Vegas on Saturday. So we're passing each other. I knew this weekend was Super Bowl, so I didn't want to be in Las Vegas this weekend. But I thought, wow, we'll maybe get some great deals from the leftover memorabilia next weekend. So we plan to scout out the stores and see if we can find some Kansas City or San Francisco memorabilia to bring back at a good discounted price. So yesterday was a fun day for me. Forgot all about Carnival. So I forgot people were celebrating throughout the world yesterday for Carnival in preparation for Ash Wednesday on Wednesday. So with that concludes my gratuitous comments for today. Back to you, Titin.
Wow, thank you, Mary. What a wonderful day that you had yesterday. Thank you for sharing. And as the time for table topic session is limited, now it's time to close my session now. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And we managed to have 9 fabulous speakers. And for that, may I call the timer to give the timer's report?
Thank you, Toastmaster Titin. I believe all speakers are eligible except for Michelle. I'm sorry, Michelle, you were over time, 2 minutes 51 seconds. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Titin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arnie. And I would like to hand the session back to our TMOD, Mary.
Okay, thank you, Titin. That was a very creative and fun way to ensure that we're listening to the speakers all the way to the very last word. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for sharing and being our table Toastmaster of the day. I have to make a comment about our word of the day. Gratuitous, I always associated with gratitude. I thought it was a positive thing. So when Sarah finished, I was like, oh, what a gratuitous speech, or I did something meaning it was positive. And then I looked at the definition. It's like, oh my gosh, not called for, not necessary, appropriate, or justified, given unearned or without recompense. I was like, oh my gosh, I just insulted her by using that word. And I said, I have been using it wrong all this time. But because of that, I was so upset that I was going to apologize. Then I looked up in the dictionary. There are 2 definitions. So the second definition is given or done free of charge, like complimentary or gratuitous, gratis. So we can use gratuitous either as a negative or as a positive. An unusual word, but a great word. So I felt better. So Sarah, I was definitely using the complimentary definition of gratuitous. And I loved how Michelle expanded on it and talked about gratuities, which was the idea, again, of compensation for a job well done when we're at restaurants or any place they give gratuities. So what a great word, Lauren, for choosing that today. I am now going to turn our meeting over to our general evaluator to run the rest of the meeting. I'm actually driving. I'm going to a brewery and I don't even drink beer, but I'm meeting friends at a brewery. So I'm only able to run the meeting here. So I'm going to turn it over and let Tiger finish it. I will click on my phone in the car and follow you. And I can do my announcements in the car, but thank you so much for the meeting so far. It's been always a fun meeting. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the general evaluator to run the second portion of the meeting. Over to you, Tiger.
The Teton thought she got away with something, but no, Robbie and I have been scheming. And the last word was Tiger. Ha ha. It's all yours, Teton.
Tiger, today you are very appreciative. You appreciate almost all the participants for the meeting. And yes, I believe that appreciation is crucial because what we appreciate appreciates. And before I forget, I would like to remind the timer not to forget to time me because I'm waiting for this one until 2 minutes to over. Okay. Well, appreciating others, I believe that it is a wonderful thing to do. Like when my daughters get the appreciation, they seem very happy. And I observe that their next performance is better compared to if I do not appreciate their effort, their work, their time. So it is a very wonderful approach to encourage someone to perform better. That is true, sincere appreciation, not only about the results, but also about the efforts that they have poured into the process. So for me, what matters is the process and not really about the result. Perhaps we have tried our best. We have done our best. However, the result might not be very satisfactory, which is okay. What counts is the process. And through the process that we can learn a lot. Thank you. Back to you, Tiger.
Thank you for being a sport, Teton. Let's move on to our grammarian. Let's see what she has to say about our uses of the language.
Michelle
is waving her hand. Michelle, what's up?
Don't you want to call for the evaluation of Sarah's speech?
No.
Oh, I was going to add a few more uses of gratuitous.
Michelle, I apologize. Michelle, go ahead and give us the evaluation of Sarah's speech.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you, Sarah. Wow. From the get-go, from the title of your speech, I was intrigued. A blind cow. I was trying to figure out what is this speech going to be about. And it was very interesting. I loved your use of vocal variety. Sometimes you would lower your voice, like you would say, at this moment. And there was a bit of suspense there. You had a longer pause. In vocabulary, I don't know if they were your own word choices, but they were beautiful. Like you said, curiosity had to stay with you. So you could almost visualize that if curiosity was something like a little child popping out, it would have to stay put and behave itself while you had to wait to find out what was this all about. And you had beautiful words, other beautiful words like transformative experience. And finally, your message was very powerful. Story about how you can transform your experience and see things differently. Now, a couple of suggestions, and I'd like to start with the message. The message was there, but it was embedded in a very subtle way. It did jump at you, and some people might not even notice that you had a message. So my first suggestion is, how about starting with that message? How about saying, have you ever had an experience that transformed your perception of things? And then you pause, look around, and say, and then you start the story. So then at the end, you can do what you did and tie back to the beginning. You could say, so after my experience with blind cow, I was totally transformed. I never saw disability in the same way ever. And it's very powerful. And then you could even have a call to action. You could say, how about you? What have you experienced that has changed the way you perceive things? What will you do about it? Something like that. But it was a really beautiful story. And the other very minor suggestion is, maybe while you were speaking, when you were being brought into the darkness, you could have closed your eyes so that we felt like we were really blind. You were like walking like that. But other than that, I love the story, very unique. And I'd like to hear more about your experiences in Germany. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Michelle. I apologize for skipping over you. That was not a gratuitous moment for me. While I have Michelle on my mind, let's talk about her evaluation. So first of all, she talked about things that she liked about the speech. I liked when she gave a recommendation that she gave not only the idea to start with a message, but also an example of how you could have started with the message. So she started with positive things, then she gave a nice recommendation, actually several recommendations to make this speech even better. This was a good speech and it had a great message. And I agree that the message could have been a little more clear, but this is a wonderful speech and a wonderful topic. I was totally engrossed from the beginning to the end. So Sarah, thank you very much for that. And Michelle, thank you very much for your professional evaluation. Now let's go to the pickleball specialist. And yes, I thought the same thing when I saw little babies playing pickleball. That was hilarious. I thought of Lauren. I go, I hope Lauren's watching this. It's all yours, Lauren.
Thank you. And I was watching it. I enjoyed it as well. The use of word of the day was abundant, which is nice. Mary used it 3 times. I used it once. Kirk used it once. Ravi 3. Michelle 5. Teton once. Tiger 3. Arnie once. Some nice phrases that jumped out at me. Sarah said, for the first time in my life, I felt I had a weakness. Ravi, anything under the sun. Teton, the result might not be satisfactory, which is okay. Michelle used the word embedded. Tiger used the word engrossed. That ends my grammarian report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lauren. And that was a wonderful word. And it was interesting to find out, because I was with Mary, I thought that this was a positive word. So now I know that when Robbie is being Robbie, I can use this word either way. Thank you very much. And it was short and to the point, and I appreciate that. Our timer already did the table topics with the exception of Teton. So if you want to give us the timing for the speech, the evaluation, and Teton's table topic, please. Arnie? There she is.
Yes. I'm sorry, I lost you a moment. Could you please repeat?
Oh, yes. Could you give us the timing for Teton's table topics, the evaluation,
Teton is to
and the speech?
the whole report, yeah? Okay. For Toastmaster Sarah, 7 minutes for second. Table topic session, Melva 1 minute 58 seconds, Ravi 1 minute 28 seconds, Michelle 2 minute 51 seconds, Arnie me 1 minute 54, Kirk 1 minute 52 seconds, Tiger 2 minute 11 seconds, Lauren 1 minute 48 seconds, Sarah 1 minute 17 seconds, Mary 2 minute 15 seconds, Titin 2 minute 11 seconds, and Michelle as evaluator. Congratulations, Michelle. 3 minutes 12 seconds. So all are eligible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arnie, for stepping in the timer at the last moment. And it really, really, Robbie, I really love that you put the times in the chat so that we can follow as we go. So thank you very much for that. It's only 8 o'clock. We are well ahead of schedule. Let me go ahead and give my general evaluation, and then we'll get some comments from our guests. So let's start with Mary. Again, Mary had volunteered to be the Toastmaster of the day. Then she failed because she only had so much time, and I guilted her into being the Toastmaster anyway. And I love the fact that we didn't have a theme. So let's think about this. We had no theme, and our table topics was completely unique because we didn't have a theme. So that is so cool. This is a unique meeting, and it was fun. I think I've seen a lot of smiles. In my Friday Night Fun Master group, we keep track of laughs, and today I've seen a lot of smiles and a lot of laughing. So obviously, having no theme and having a very unique table topic has worked very well for us. And the word of the day did get used a lot, more than normal, even though it was somewhat of a difficult word to use. We all tried to make the effort to use it. So Lauren's grammarian job, very nicely done. I liked her explanation. I liked the fact that she went through things that people said that were positive, and she also kept track of the word of the day. Arnie did a wonderful job with timing. Arnie likes the time because she can hide. But a wonderful job of timing. And again, I love the fact that she put the times in the chat as we went. And then her timing report was short and sweet and to the point. Again, table topics. I know that Teton made this up at the last minute, and I'm not sure if this was just completely unique or if she had seen it done somewhere else. But what a fun way to do table topics, and just let people talk about whatever they want, because that's what table topics is all about. Being able to speak for a couple minutes off the cuff, the topic is somewhat irrelevant. Again, I want to thank Melva for coming, even though she had a little bit of a heads up on her table topic. It's still difficult to speak, especially in a second language. I really appreciate that. The speech was wonderful. What a great topic. I've never heard of this type of experience before. And I think that that was a wonderful topic. Very thoughtful. It leaves us all thinking about, and hopefully being thankful for the fact that we can see. I had this conversation with a friend. I'm deaf, or partly deaf, and he was saying he's partly deaf also. He goes, well, better to be deaf than blind. Yeah, I agree, because when you have sight, you can see the flowers. So with that, overall, what a wonderful meeting. Our essay, I have to say something, and I have to say something nice about our essay. And it's very difficult to come up with a nice, gratuitous thing to say about our essay. But in all seriousness, I like how he's brought professionalism to the role with the Toastmaster pledge to remind us, you know, why we're here, and to encourage each other and to be professional, to come prepared. I appreciate that, Robbie. When I'm the SAA, basically I say, welcome everybody, we're here to learn, have fun. Okay, let's go. And Robbie puts that in, but he also does a really nice job of, again, reminding us of what this is all about. We're all proud, I think, to be Toastmasters. And I would hope that our guests, like Kirk, now has a better understanding of what this is all about. So overall, wonderful meeting. I will turn it back over to our presiding president, who is driving. Mary, do you want to add final comments while you're driving?
And an ambulance just came by me. Like, oh God, what do I do? I'm sitting on a red light. But nothing much more to add other than to remind club officers, if you have not taken the winter Toastmaster Leadership Institute training, TLI training, please do that. You must do it by the end of February. So you only have a couple more weeks. Go online. There's plenty of sessions still left to sign on for. And also, I mentioned again about thinking about putting a speech together in a competitive level for the International Speech Contest that will be coming up soon. And we'll have a club contest. So club officers, I plan to get together with you real soon to talk about that. But just put it on your thinking cap of something that you can speak 5 to 7 minutes that could maybe get you all the way to the World Championship of Speaking in Anaheim, California in August. So that's all I have for now. Thank you all so much. I do apologize. I signed up to be Toastmaster today thinking my friends were meeting at noon, and they are, but they're meeting in Virginia, and I didn't know that. So I had to leave by 11:15 to get there. So I do apologize. And I'm picking 2 people up on the way. So as we drive with that, I will turn it back to our VPE to work on next week's meeting. I don't think I'll be able to set up for a role because I'll be in Las Vegas, as I mentioned. So definitely 2 weeks from now, I will be there at our meeting. Back to you, Tiger.
Thank you, Mary, and don't apologize for helping us out. That was wonderful. I really love. I'm trying to get Robbie's attention again. I am very appreciative of the fact that you stepped up, even though you could only be here for part of the meeting, and here you are. We're at the end of the meeting. You're still here. Now that's dedicated. That's the president leading by example. Appreciate that greatly. Michelle, I guess, unless, let's get some comments from our guests. Kirk, this is your second time here. What do you think?
That was great. Thank you all so much for having me. I really enjoyed listening to Sarah's speech. It was wonderfully laid out. You could tell she put a lot of time into that. So that is awesome. And I really enjoyed listening to Michelle's evaluation of it too, to help give some feedback of a already very well laid out speech that could have some small improvements that would make it even better. So it was really wonderful to see that happen today. And the impromptu stuff was fun again. We did it last week, so it was fun to participate in that as well. And I just appreciate everyone allowing me to join today and get a little bit better at speaking and being a part of this group. So thank you all.
Thank you, Kirk, and you're obviously welcome back anytime. We hope that you come back every week. You did an excellent job.
Join us. Join us.
2 weeks in a row, you did an excellent job with table topics. So we appreciate that. And I forgot about Yodlee. Yodlee's going to be unhappy with me unless we get the Yodlee report. Teton, can you give us the Yodlee report, please?
Yes, sure, Tiger. So as usual, we do quite well with our filler words for this time. This meeting, we have only 1% of filler words from our speeches. We have like, okay, you know, and oh, which is only 1%. For the weak words, we had 2% weak words, such as so, just, very, really. We had quite a lot of really. Actually, I stopped this usually right before the evaluation session, that I stop it a few minutes later. Then we will have really more really. And next is right. Well, actually, probably, kind of, I think that clearly you see exactly, honestly, and personally. So hopefully this will be our motivation to minimize the filler words in our speeches for our next meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Tiger.
You know, like that was honestly, personally, I think that was a wonderful job by Yodlee. 1%. You guys think about that. Only 1% ums and ahs and you knows and likes. That's amazing. So excellent job, everybody. Back to our guest, Melva. You have not been here for quite a while. What do you think about coming back and joining us?
Okay, actually, okay, I want to say thanks for you, Tiger, for approaching me and ask me when you come back. When you come back, I'm feeling guilty when I promise, but I don't keep my promise, you know. And then, you know, I don't know why, just like that's my fault because I'm getting, you know, lazy lately. I know it's work for me. RSS, it's work for me and for everyone. I think that's it. Back to you, Tiger.
Thank you, Melvin. I don't know if you guys noticed, but she's been smiling the whole meeting. So thank you for staying up and bringing your smile to our meeting. It's nice to see you here again. Arnie, you've been here before, but can we go ahead and get some comments from you before we end this meeting?
Thank you, Tiger. Today's meeting was really fun and really, I enjoyed it a lot. We have so much laughter, especially during the table topic session. It was fun. Thank you.
And again, we really appreciate that Yodlee's off, so I can say really again. We appreciate greatly that you stepped in the timer at the last minute. It's nice to have you here again. With that, does anybody have final comments? Mary, would you like to say something?
I just want to make sure we got Kirk's email address so that we can send him a membership application and information that he might be interested in finding out more about Toastmasters.